Okay, I drew the antlers on how I want them to be. Okay, the head's pretty well where I want it to be at the moment. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put the antlers on. We're going to do the side view first, and then we're going to, we're going to maybe put them at an angle or whatever we need to do, a little bit of a curvature later. You'll see that. So let's do the front view first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spray it really well, because there's going to be some cutting here, and it's going to be kind of hard to do in a sense because the grain is running up and down. So this is going to be a very sensitive area right here, and this here might be a sensitive area, and this. So let's start with the center here. Let's just start chopping away where we can go across. And just kind of rough it out a little bit. Alright. Just going to try to follow that little bit of a pattern there. And try to go all the way across, that when you look at it, it will look like you got it somewhat shaped up. Here it's going to go in a little bit above the ear. And we have a lot more to do on the ears and stuff as well, but let's just go across the whole thing. Alright, and take that little tip off there, round it up, okay? I'm constantly looking at it from the front, looking at that pattern that I drew, and just try to shape it as much to that pattern as you can, whatever pattern you put on there. Alright. Having a little knife really works well, because you can do what I'm doing now. You can kind of scoop it out within reason. If it gives you any resistance, go the other way. But, just take your time with it. Again, you want to look at it that you can see it all the way through, that it looks like you did it on a scroll saw. Okay. This will take some doing. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other one offline probably. I do it here too. What's the difference here? If you wet it with that solution, you can see how easy it is to get that turn. Alright, and take that tip off a little bit. And here we're going to go in a little bit. Up to that ear. And then here it's going to be the fun part. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to try to start scooping it out a little bit at a time here. Now it's going to be a tough one to do, because that's what I do, is a little bit from one side, turn the knife around, go in there and scoop it out from the other side. Hear me grinding it there. What I'm doing is doing just little strokes, and then turning the knife the opposite way, and try to just dig a little hole in there, like you're putting a little drill size hole in there. Okay, a little bit more. I love doing things out of one block. I don't like adding things to my carving, separate pieces if I can help it. I think it always looks nicer to have it all in one section, one piece. Alright. We have a general idea here. This is really going to be refined greatly by the time we get to the end of this. Alright, so that's what we're doing. We're just kind of shaping everything up. Alright, there you go. Alright. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start thinning this out. So let's do that. If you want to put it to a little bit of a curvature, you can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this forward. I'm going to leave about 1/4 of an inch or so. And just kind of work my antler down a little bit. We're going to do a lot more work to it yet. Okay. Same thing here. We're going to bring this down. And of course we're going to bring this down here. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to, let me think here how I can do this. Alright, let me bring this down a little bit more. Alright, one thing we're going to do here, we're going to start scooping this out. Alright, in the front. Just scoop it out. What you want to do is spray it a little bit. So we're going to have like the antlers up at a little bit of a curvature. Alright, so plus it will bring down the antlers quite a bit, you know, from their original size here. And we're going to do this side as well. Just bring it down a little bit. Alright. Like I said, all these things, I really don't have a pattern that I come up with an idea in my head, and that's where I take it, you know, from there. That's going to have to be trimmed down. Of course, this is going to come down much, much more. This is where this will take some time to have these antlers, you know, nicely rounded when we get done. And they'll look more like antlers when we get finished. We're just doing a rough draft of what they should look like here. Looks like our time's almost up. I'll be right back. We'll keep at it. Alright, we'll be right back.